Okay, can you guys believe we're on video number 11 already? God, it seems to have gone so fast. We started this channel in the beginning of the summer, and we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers. The channel already is coming up on 50,000 views, so thank you everybody out there who's liking and subscribing. Okay, so if you watch my videos, in my last video, I promised you guys two things. I said to you, I'm going to tell you how to get green sand zinnia, and I'm going to film my buddy Keith McPeak's collection. In regard to Keith, unfortunately, he had a slight injury. Keith is perfectly fine, but we had to postpone that shoot, so we're not going to get to that today. Green sand zinnia. Why don't we jump into breeder spotlight right now? I know everybody out there is looking for green sand zinnia. Ross Adcock is the gentleman's name who produced a beautiful litter of 11 baby green sand zinnia. Those animals were produced, I'd say, about 6 weeks ago, something in that area. Okay, so here is the scoop on those guys. There are a total, like I said, of 11 babies, 3.8. Okay, 8 females. That is an amazing ratio. I wish I had those kind of ratios. Mine would be just the opposite. I usually get male heavy in my breedings. But he's going to make 3 pair available, and that's the key thing. That's what you guys want to know. Don't panic. No reason to jump and go crazy and try to reach out to Ross immediately. These animals have not yet been established. Ross is going to get them established, and then he will make them available. I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to put a picture of the sire up, and then I'm going to follow that up with a picture of the dam, and I'm going to also show you guys a picture of the babies. Okay, so 3.3 babies. I'm going to give you Ross's contact information for his email address. And I want to mention, as far as pricing, there is no set pricing, guys. Ross, at this point, what he's really looking to do is he's going to make them available to the best offer. So if you email Ross and you want to make him an offer, ask him some questions, whatever it is, that's between you and Ross. I have nothing to do with it. I'm simply referring Ross because I've known him for a long time. His adult sand zinnia actually came from me. I wish so badly I had kept him, but I didn't. So you can go ahead and reach out to Ross directly, and I make nothing on this, guys, except, again, Ross is a friend. And if you watch my channel, I can only assume you're into green tree pythons and emerald tree boas and green sand zinnia, because we talk about that a lot on my channel. So whenever those animals become available, I want to let you guys know so you have an opportunity to go acquire them. So go ahead and reach out to Ross. Hey, next up, guys, I want to show you a couple animals I have available. I always mention to you that when you watch my videos, I want to give you guys a heads up before I go ahead and post the animals on the boards. I have 2 carpet pythons. If you watched 2 females I want to show you, if you watched my video a couple back when I visited my friend Evan Wexler's house, I picked up some carpets from him. And those animals, I wanted to make sure I got a few meals into them and make sure they shed out. And they're perfect. They're both female. So if anybody is looking for a Diamond Jungle Jaguar sibling, I hope the colors are coming out, because these are the Gamma lines from Martin Roseman, and they're just gorgeous animals. That's a 2019 female. It's a solid feeder on frozen thawed small mice from Tongs. And I also have this Diamond Jungle Jaguar female. And guys, I've had enough of these where I know I have a pretty good idea what they're going to look like. This girl is so bright yellow, and she's going to be an absolutely amazing adult. So if you want some really top quality Jaguar line animals from the Gamma line from Martin Roseman, these are animals you might be interested in. So I'm going to go ahead and post all the information about them on Morph Market. So by the time you're watching this video, it should be there. And also, you could send me an email at gary@gsreptiles.com. I'll be happy to answer your question. Okay, so let's jump into today's video with John Martin. As I'll explain later in the video, I've known John forever. He is a great guy. His collection is just meticulous, and what's even more amazing than his animals are his cages. I mean, the craftsmanship, as I mentioned several times in the video, he's a master carpenter. And I'm going to put John's information in this video as well. John Martin is his name, though. It's spelled just like it sounds. You could find John on Facebook. 2 quick things. John does not sell any of his animals. He holds back everything he sells. He will have no animals available, and he does not make cages for people. He only makes them for himself. So you could reach out to John. You're more than welcome to do that with any questions, but I will tell you he does not sell animals or cages. Just fun fact, you know, John used to produce a lot of Carpondros many years ago, and I kind of expressed through my videos how I feel about Carpondros. So I'm not a big fan of them, but I never asked John why he stopped breeding them, but I would imagine it has something to do with the fact that he doesn't want to go to hell, and I'll just leave it at that. So I hope you enjoy this tour of John's room, and I will see you guys shortly. Hey guys, I am really excited to show you today's video. I'm with John Martin. If you watched my videos in the past, I've mentioned John's name many times. John and I is a lifelong friend. We've known each other at least 31 years. I've been to my first snake shows with him. We saw our first emerald basins together. We saw our first green tree pythons together. And I'm really pumped to show you John's collection today. His cages, he's a master carpenter on top of everything else. And extremely passionate about these animals. And I know you guys are going to love today's video. John, what are we looking at right here?
This is a 50-50 Northern Amazon Basin cross.
Okay, so she's a cross between a Northern Emerald and a Basin Emerald.
She's about 8 years old.
Okay, and will she be ready to breed soon, John?
Yeah, I would say next year.
Okay, so
I figure because I already tried to breed her once and she gave me a very good litter. Okay. So I give her 2 years off. So as you guys are going to see today, John really focuses on Basin Emeralds. That is his passion. John has kept and bred many species over the past 30 plus years. And John, I wanted to ask you, so what is it about basins? What always draws you back to Basin Emeralds? When I was in 5th grade, I saw a picture in a book of a basin, and I never thought that I would see one of these snakes in the flesh. So I saw my first one at Tom Crutchfield's place in Florida. You were with me, and I could not believe that cage.
Yeah,
I was glued to that cage all the time I was there. I have a fascination with Amazon Basin Emeralds.
Yep. That was John and I. We were at the very first, the first big show in Daytona Beach. It was in Orlando. It actually started in Daytona Beach. And we went to Tom Crutchfield's. That was 31 years ago. And we went to Crutchfield's place. He had an amazing setup at that time. And we first saw our first basin. So I'm excited to jump into John's collection today. And let's look at some more snakes. Okay, guys, I want to give you an idea of just the size of John's room and how beautiful these cages are. These cages you see was custom made by John. John was just telling me that these cages here, there's a dozen of them. These are 3 feet high, John, right? By 2 feet. And it took John almost a month to build each one. And if you saw them here live with me in the detail, you'd understand why that was. These cages over here, these guys are 4 feet long by 3 feet high, and all these cages I'm showing you guys right now are all 16 inches deep. There's some of John's baby racks, again, all custom made by John. Showing you just some more baby racks. It's a little dimmer on this side of the room. And then these cages over here, it's got some adult and sub-adult basins and Northern Basin crosses in here. These cages are 3 feet by 3 feet, actually, and again, 16 inches deep. And there's some more 3 foot by 3 foot cages here, guys. I know, I'm sorry, it's a little dark over this side of the room. And we're going to have John pick out some of his most favorite animals for us. And as we round a bend, again, just some really all custom made Cambro box units that I don't even know if they make these sizes anymore. Small little guys, and even the little custom PVC perches in there John made, all fake plants. Just very inspirational to come here. John runs this whole room at about 78 degrees. Each of the cages has their own individual heating elements as well, thermostats, everything's done right. And yeah, hope that gives you guys just a sense of the room. All right, so what are we looking at here, John?
This is a 50-50 Basin Northern Cross.
Okay.
This was pick of the litter from Sean Jacobs about 8 years ago, and it was his holdback animal.
Yeah.
I ended up getting it about 2 years ago. She's about 8 years old now. She's never been bred before, but this year's the first year I'm trying.
Gotcha. Why do people do, I see a lot of the Northern Basin crosses. I love them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see the color on this animal. The green is incredible. I mean, it's just so different. It's kind of like a mottled, more marble look to it.
Yeah.
So why do people do a lot of the crosses, you think, John, with the Basins and Northern?
I think once you put the Basin gene in here, it cleans the Northern Emeralds up, you know?
Okay. Yeah,
she's real clean usually, right at the back of the head.
She's got good weight on her too, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's probably gonna have to defecate soon, but we'll see if she ovulates after that.
What are you feeding an animal this size?
Medium rats.
Medium rats?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you feed these animals?
Once every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. So that's, you heard that, guys, with the Northerns and emeralds in general, you're going to feed them a lot less frequently than you're going to feed your green tree pythons.
Yeah, if you feed them too much, you kill them.
Yeah. Anyway, she's amazing, and yeah, good luck with breeding her. Let's move on to the next. So in addition to John's Northerns, he has a couple really nice Amazon tree bows too. I'm trying to get a picture of this one here in the back here. It's a beautiful red striped animal. I'm never a fan of these guys. I love the colors on them. I just always think they're a little too flighty, but I know a lot of people love them, and this one in particular is, hopefully it's coming in good, guys. But just a really pretty animal. Caught my eye. Thought I'd show it off. So guys, what we're looking at here, this is a pure Amazon Basin emerald. You can see the big difference between the crosses and the pure Basins. I mean, I love those crosses John's showing us, but I'm just such a huge fan of the pure Basins. What can you tell us about this one, John?
This is produced by Ed Marino,
okay.
And she's coming up on 3 years old right now.
Okay, so this is a female.
Yeah.
So a 3-year-old female. And roughly how long does it take to get them up to breeding size?
Female's 5, male's 4.
5 years old. And, you know, I'm just going to ask you, John, is that you've been doing this for a long time, you have a lot of animals, you've had a lot of breeding success. What is one thing you could tell people if they're just kind of getting into the hobby today, specifically if they want to get into Amazon Basin emeralds or arboreals in general? Like, what would your advice be for people?
Slow way down.
Slow it down. That's
because you overfeed an emerald tree, you're going to kill it.
Right.
It's not like any other animal you ever kept before.
Yeah, John and I were talking about that earlier. You know, part of getting older is, the good news about it is that you do tend to get a lot more patience, specifically when it comes, not with people, but specifically with keeping animals. And what John said there is key. You know, you can't rush these animals. They are not boas or ball pythons. No disrespect to those animals at all. You can't get them up to breeding size in 2 to 3 years. You got to take your time. So, you know, if you're getting yourself, whether it's a chondro, you know, we're not talking males, guys. Males you can get, you know, they're producing sperm at 18 months. But with it doesn't mean they're going to be a good breeder at 18 months. It means that they're producing viable sperm. But with female chondros, you're looking at minimally 4 to 5 years before they're going to be able to breed for you. A Basin emerald, John, I mean, it's realistic. They take up to 5, 6 years even, right?
5 years for females, 4 for males.
Yeah, so think about that, guys. This is a marathon, and it's not a sprint.
And you cannot breed them every year either. You're going to give at least 2 years off.
Right. So there you go. You know, when you finally get up to breeding size, don't think you're going to breed them consecutive years either. It's just not going to happen.
This is not a get-rich-quick snake.
No, definitely not a get-rich-quick snake.
Not a money maker either. You know?
Absolutely.
Very delicate.
Yeah. That is a beautiful animal.
Yeah.
And before we show off this snake, I want to tell you, I mentioned John was a master carpenter in the beginning of this. He's got so many little cool toys and stuff that he hand makes over here. So for all John's perches, he makes these perch holders that he mounts on the wall. So when he has to take an animal out of an enclosure, they just goes perfectly. This perch just fits perfectly into this perch holder. I just love that kind of stuff, that little detail stuff that I'm just not capable of creating or making. So anyway, John, what is this girl? She's another cross?
That is from 16. That's my first litter of crosses that I've ever produced here.
Wow.
And she's now 4 years old, and she was the product of a male cross bred to a female northern. Makes you 25% Amazon Basin, 75% northern.
So 75% northern, 25% Amazon Basin. And guys, the thing about crosses, the reason you can always tell they're crosses in general is that, you know, Basins have that vertical stripe, that connecting stripe. The Northerns have more of the patches, the markings going down. But with most Northern emeralds, after it leaves the neck area, that's when the white patches tend to fade away. However, when you breed them together, the two species, the Basins and the Northerns, what you tend to get is the high, if I could take her out here.
That white stays crisp right to the head.
Yeah. Can you see how crisp that is? I mean, the idea would be that would be perfect if it was a Northern, a pure Northern.
If that was Northern, you'd have black into the white, about a third of the way down.
Yeah. But this is, you said it's a female, John?
Yeah.
So John produced her, and we're looking at guys here. I mean, she's got good size to her. What would you feed an animal this size?
Small rats.
Small rats. And
large mice.
I would say she easily has another solid 2 to 3 years left before she's going to breed.
Yep.
So anyway, gorgeous animal. All right, guys, here's another really unique looking, this is another Basin Northern cross. John, what can you tell us about this animal?
This was a 50-50 cross bred to a 50-50 cross.
Okay.
And it is born in March, early March.
Okay.
Has never eaten on its own yet.
Okay.
But it takes time for these things sometimes. I've assist fed some smaller meals, and I chain fed a larger meal.
Okay.
It hasn't even defecated yet, though. That was probably 2 months ago.
Hey, and listen, we all been doing this long enough. We know that's just part of it. It happens.
You got to be super patient with these things.
Yeah. Now, so it's a 50-50 cross, bred to a 50-50 cross, making it a 50-50 cross. And so I noticed this one, John, it doesn't have as much white. It's got a patternless look to it. I mean, I love patternless animals. I love whether it's a patternless emerald or a anaconda face. Like, what do you have a specific look that you shoot for when you're breeding?
Not really. Just roll the dice.
Just whatever comes out, you're happy with.
Yep.
Yep. No, I totally get that. I mean, each one is gorgeous.
This is also the first one I've ever seen with a stripe on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It has a nice, pretty full stripe on it.
Starting to come in.
And any difference as far as timing of how long it takes for them to go through an onogenic change compared to a northern, or so it doesn't matter.
They're all the same. They're about a year.
Okay, yeah. So again, beautiful animal, and you heard John. This one's being a stubborn feeder. Whether it's an emerald or a chondro, we've all been there. It just happens, and again, it just takes patience. The animal looks great. It looks healthy. I could never tell it wasn't eating on its own, and eventually, one day, it will surprise you and just eat on its own. That's basically what happens. So, yeah, another gorgeous animal, John.
Nice.
So, guys, this is a beautiful pair. These are produced by Ed Marino, John?
Yep.
So, beautiful male-female pair of Amazon Basin emeralds. John doesn't keep them together. We just put them together for the sake of filming this video. But which is which, John?
This is the male and this is the female.
That's the male. Okay. And this male, that's what they call the diamond line? That's Ed's diamond line, yeah. And this one, I don't know, we call that a snowflake or what?
Snowflake, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, beautiful animals. Now these are not siblings. They're not related,
that
right?
One was from Noel.
Oh, okay.
And Head.
Okay.
The head was male.
Okay.
And Noel was a female.
Gotcha.
And Noel's actually the animal that put Ed on a map. You know?
Yeah, that's that. If you've seen Ed's website, you know that really crazy thick white stripe on Ed Marino's site. So, how old are these animals, John?
Probably a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay, so we got a long ways to go on them.
She's a little younger than he is.
Okay. And what at this size, what are we feeding?
Rat pups.
Okay.
20-gram rat pups. They're both taking them.
Okay. So, John and I have had this conversation before because, we've both been doing this forever. And it's funny because John, as I mentioned earlier, bred a lot of animals. He had a few basins, a few emeralds, and now he's come completely back to emeralds. So if you had to put one thing on it, John, just one reason, what it is about emeralds, or basin emeralds, I should say, specifically, that it's the one animal, if you could keep only one animal, you keep those, like anything come to mind, why would be that one animal? They
make better captives than northerns do.
Yeah.
And it's a green snake that hangs in the trees, and they got big teeth. I look for that.
Yeah. And I think
they tend not to bite, too.
Yeah, they tend to be pretty mellow. And I think the key thing that John said earlier, basins are incredible. I have basins also. If you get an opportunity to add some basins to your collection, I highly suggest you do it. But man, when I think of the word basin, I think of the word patience, guys, because that's really what it comes down to. There is no overnight success with these animals. Anybody who keeps them will tell you, they have their challenges like any other animal, but when you take those challenges and you combine that with the time it takes to raise them up to breed them, it's just nothing but patience and time. So make sure you have some patience and time if you're looking into basins. So John, thanks so much for sharing your collection. Wish you guys could check this room out. I mean, it's nothing less than incredible. So, okay, I'll be right back. How amazing was John's room, guys, and how amazing were his animals? It's really inspiring. I mean, I do love my cages, like how everything is set up, but when you see a setup like that and the way just John builds everything with the plants and just everything, it just looks amazing. I loved it. And I couldn't wait to come home and just get my own basins out because you really gain an appreciation for animals when they're set up that way. And I know I said this earlier, but if you do not have any Amazon Basin emeralds, you need to get some. They're a completely different animal. Chondros are my passion. They will always be my passion. They'll always be my #1 animal. But these guys are a close second for me. So again, hope you enjoyed today's video, and I want to leave you with USARK. I know, I preach it all the time. They need our help. They need your money. They need our resources. They do so much for us and ask so little from us. So USARK, again, as always, I will put the link to USARK at the bottom of my video. And $5 a month, that's all it costs to support them. So anyway, I will see you guys in a couple weeks, and I hope you have a great couple weeks. Who has the best YouTube channel? Me